Hey everyone, my name's Ben, and this week I've got a good friend and client of mine, Shirley Grimes, with me for Tip of the Week number 17. Shirley was sharing her passion for item substitutions with me last week, and I naturally had to invite her to guest star on my favorite weekly segment. Shirley, can you tell us a little bit why you feel so passionately about these item substitutions?
Absolutely. I'm passionate about sales, but more than that, I'm passionate about meeting the customer's needs and efficiency. There's nothing worse than telling a customer, sorry, we don't have that item. Item substitute help us avoid the missed opportunity and keep customers happy and often increase the sell. So it's a win across the board.
So if you wouldn't mind, could you share your screen and actually walk us through doing one of these item substitutions?
Of course, let's roll through a quick demo. First, we'll want to start with the setup. On the item card, you need to go to item and then click on substitutes. This is where all the magic begins. Here you can define what items could be substituted and how. For this example, we're going to use 𝗘𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 vodka as our main item, and we're going to set up 𝗕𝗽𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 vodka as a substitute. We'll mark this as an interchangeable, which means 𝗘 can substitute for 𝗕𝗽𝗂𝗀 and 𝗕𝗽𝗂𝗀 can substitute for 𝗘. They're similar enough that either option works for the customer, and our goal is to fill the shelf and close that sell. Now, let's use it on a sales order. We've got Ben's liquor store has placed an order. They order 𝗘𝗽𝗀 vodka, and there is nothing like seeing that big goose egg, that zero availability. Nothing like that moment that really makes your armpits start to sweat. But here, when you have a good setup, it pays off. Right on the sales line, we can immediately see whether a substitute exists. And if we click on it, we can view that list. That's a great signal, but that's just the basics. The next step is selecting the item and then going to related information and clicking on the item substitute. Now we get the full list, and we also get to see availability based on the location that you have set up on your sales order. It's kind of like magic. You have additional substitutes, some in stock and some not. No jumping between warehouses, no guessing, no extra clicks. And when you see that 𝗕𝗽𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is in stock, instant excitement, right? Now you've got your item that you can substitute with. From there, it's all about communication with the customer that, hey, Ben's liquor store, 𝗘 is out, but we have a great alternative. That's 𝗕𝗽𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. Once the customer is good with that, you just push the OK. And just like that, kapow, your sales order updates the new line, no lost sales, no frustration. And in the end, you have a happy customer.
Also wondering, can you use this on assembly orders and production orders?
Absolutely. Even though we only had time for one example today, item substitutes can be used on assembly and production orders as long as they're correctly set up and the substitute doesn't cause a material difference in the final product.
Thanks, Shirley. As you know, we like to keep these tips short, so that's going to be all the time we have for today. But again, I really appreciate your guidance as well as your live demo here. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that everybody has a great day.